that blade works.
Hey, what is up, you guys? It's Silver Frank, and today I'm back with another video. So today I'm gonna be covering Shirou Amakuza, and to be honest, like, I really like this guy. Like, his design, his fighting style. By the way, like, in the beginning, like in the beginning he was using like Kodomine's actual fighting style, like with the how you call these things? I forgot, but like with those blades that CAREE used to use back in the day, like that fighting style was amazing. Like, I really like that. I think like one of Shirou's fighting style is one of my favorite fighting styles that I've seen in Fate. Another one was this guy's oh my god, I forgot his name now. Shirou's father, I forgot. Kirotsugu. Yes, Kirotsugu. Like, with this whole time manipulation, that fighting style was pretty good too. And by the way, like, I didn't know this, but apparently, like, the assassin version of Emiya is Shirou. Like, not Shirou. It's Kirotsugu. I was surprised, to be honest, like, because you guys keep telling me, like, when I did my Emiya video, you guys kept telling me like that he could be summoned as an assassin, but I did some research, right? And it turns out that yes, he is called Spirit Emiya, Heroic Spirit Emiya, but it's not him. It's not Shirou. It's actually Kiritsugu. So that's pretty interesting. So technically, Shirou can't be summoned as an assassin. I guess people confuse him because they do have the same name, Heroic Spirit Emiya. But I don't know how that works. Like, because a lot of you keep telling me like he can be summoned as both assassin and as an archer. But when I see the assassin version of him, it's actually Kirotsugu. So you see, like, the disconnect there. So I mean, it does make sense because Kirotsugu was an assassin, or you can kind of call him an assassin, mercenary, all packaged into one. But yeah, he was an assassin, so that really makes sense that he would become. And by the way, like, he did save the world a couple times. So yes, by killing people, but he did. So it makes sense that he would be a heroic spirit. And just because they have the same last name, I guess they call him Emiya, but it's not the same Emiya that we're used to. So technically Shirou can't be summoned as an assassin. Or maybe he can, but the assassin that I've seen is Kiritsugu. So I don't know. You let me know how that works in the comment section below. But I got off track. So today I'm gonna be covering Shirou Amakuza. What I was saying, like, his fighting style is fire, and then he has a sword like made of lightning. Like, I think that sword though was given to him by Shakespeare, so I'm not sure if that actually counts as one of his noble phantasm. I don't think it does, but he does like have crazy agility, crazy skills. And then when he does come out eventually out of the Holy Grail, he has a different form, like his samurai type form, and he gets to, like, this is his actual sword. So yeah. By the way, like, I like him better with like his design with the short hair, like the all black with the short hair. I think that's better than the long hair version that we got at the end. So yeah, but that's just my personal preference. And that's pretty much it. Oh, but also, I've been trying to get this guy like for a minute in the game, and I haven't been able to. Even when it was like his character was like, his servant was like on raid up, even then I tried. I couldn't do it. I ran out of quartz, and I couldn't do it. I did get Achilles, thankfully, when they were doing that Apocrypha event. So I got Achilles at least, and I also got Jack. So that's something. I guess. But I was trying. There were only 2 servants that I wanted from that, from there, because as you know, for your supports, you're supposed to set up 1 for each class. So I have all the ones that I actually want set up, but I was missing a rider, and I got Achilles, and I'm also missing like the generic one that you put up front. It could be anyone, it could be from any class, but I wanted to be a special class because I have all the other ones, I have a rider, I have all the classes, so it would make sense if the other one was a special class. So I wanted to get him because he's a ruler, so I wanted to get him, and I tried, but I couldn't do it. His Noble Phantasm is also it looks pretty good, the red, and it's pretty much could be you could be summed up as a red and blue Rasengan, so that's pretty cool. So let's just go jump right into the video, and let's see what Anime News has to say about Shirou. This is a 2-part video, so this is part 1, so let's go check it out.
Let's talk about anime Jesus. I'm not even joking when I say that. If you guys wanted to know who the Japanese version of Jesus was, then you're looking at his anime incarnation. But before I get started on Amakuza Shirou Tokisada and who he is, I'm gonna make a request of you guys. You know how this is a democracy, right? I post a poll, and then you guys vote on who I cover next. Well, listen, I would really appreciate it if you went and voted for the caster of Red. You know, this useless character? Because that's just who I'd prefer to cover next. In the end, it really comes down to what you guys decide, so it can't really be helped, but you know, I think it'd be pretty cool to talk about anime Shakespeare. Anyway, let's get into who you're here to see for this episode.
I saw that video.
The ruler of the Third Holy Grail War and the leader of the Red faction, Shirou Kotomine.
I really didn't like it.
Now, it's been a while since my last ruler video, so I'll give you a quick refresher on the ruler class.
That's the one that I'm telling you, I prefer.
It's a specialized one that is only summoned when the Holy Grail War requires moderation. The Grail has determined that someone or something is breaking the rules, and summons the ruler class to make sure that everything proceeds smoothly. So we already know why Jean was summoned for this war, but I believe the question that you'd like answered would be why was Shirou summoned as ruler for the Third Holy Grail War, and why did he not disappear when it ended? Because, as we've seen in the past versions of the Fate series, the Third Holy Grail War never had a ruler. So what changed in this timeline that resulted in Shirou having to be summoned? Which you should already know is no small feat in itself either, since as I've said before and pretty much mentioned just now, you pretty much have to be Jesus to be summoned as a ruler class, or the next closest thing, which is a saint. Which means no desire for the Grail and no wish that needs to be fulfilled. Gotcha. Which brings us to Shirou's interesting case, since he clearly has a desire for the Grail.
He does have a wish.
I mean, we hear him say almost every episode that he wants to bring salvation to mankind. So how did he even end up getting summoned as the ruler in the first place? Well, all that will be answered, but as always, let's first talk about who he was back when he was alive. Unless you're familiar with Japanese history, it's very unlikely that you've heard the name Amakuza Shirou. But he is based off of the historical figure,
old man
just like all the other
family, probably cheating.
The historical Shirou lived a short life of 17 years back in the early 1600s, the Edo period. He was born of Catholic parents and became seen as essentially a holy person because he was said to perform miracles from time to time. But his name has been passed down the ages not because of those miracles, but rather because of his actions during the Shimabara Rebellion. This is claimed to be a religious uprising of Japanese Christians against the shogunate, but there was a mix of factors that led to this outbreak of unrest in an otherwise peaceful time. The first would be the insertion of new power over the land. The Arima clan had previously ruled over Shimabara and they were a Christian group, thus many of the people who lived there were also Christian. When the Arima clan was replaced by the Matsukura clan, many Christians became persecuted for their conflicting beliefs. Not only that, but heavy taxes were being put in place in order to fund the creation of a new castle. Losing money is enough to make any person get angry, but the poor treatment of those who were Christian led to the plotting of an uprising. Shirou was the closest thing to God that the people had at the time.
I'm assuming,
and since they were just a group of peasants and ronin, he was selected as the person who would lead the rebellion. And this was when he was only 16 years old. Shirou led his group to Hara Castle and successfully took it over from the shogunate. The fact that Shirou was able to lead a group of mere peasants and disowned samurai to momentary victory is what grants him his legend. These are a group of people who should have had no chance in beating trained warriors, but yet they were still able to succeed. They were also able to hold off a few more assaults when the shogunate force of 125,000 tried to take it back. But Shirou's mere force of around 40,000 was losing morale, and one of Shirou's men betrayed him and leaked information to the shogunate forces. With this information, the shogunate was able to take back Hara Castle, and every single rebel was slaughtered in the process, including Shirou, who was first taken captive and then executed to have his head displayed on a pike in Nagasaki to ward off any more potential rebellions. It's said that his final words were, "I shall return after 100 years to take my revenge." From this, many Japanese Catholics consider Shirou to be a folk saint, which are people who were said to be very spiritual during their lifetime and considered saints by others, but not recognized fully as a saint by the church through canonization.
Okay.
So for example, Jean is a real saint, but Shirou isn't. Which brings me to the Fate version of Shirou's past. They refer to him as the Boy of Miracles, the closest thing to a saint that isn't a saint. They say that he was able to heal many wounds and even walked on water. Many started to call him the Son of God.
Yo, he could walk on water?
But these miracles were attributed to his affinity to magecraft. Magic came naturally to Shirou, so naturally that he wasn't even aware that he was using it when he performed his miracles. Whenever his powers would manifest itself, it was always through his subconscious. Then the Matsukura came, and with them came the heavy taxes and famine. This led to mass despair, and many people's only salvation came in the form of Christianity. But once the Matsukuras started to persecute them even for that, they had enough. Shirou became their leader, and with the help of the Ronin, he started an insurrection. It was the mindset of the people who fought for their cause that bears a lot of parallels to Shirou's current goals. They fought to defend their beliefs, and even though they would be sacrifices, they thought that their sacrifice would help make the world become reborn. Shirou knew this as well, and even though he knew victory would not be possible, he still fought so that this new world would be achieved. But then the impossible happened. A miracle allowed Shirou and his forces to win. But Shirou knew that this shouldn't have happened. Only a few were supposed to die in order for the message to be sent. But now that they've taken the whole castle, the only message that the shogunate would see would be a pointless rebellion that needs to be wiped out, and everyone would end up dying for it. So just as it happened in history, Shirou was able to defend the castle multiple times, but he ended up being betrayed and information was leaked to the shogunate commanders, who then used that to cut off their supply of food. The shogunate moved in when they were at their weakest and slaughtered everyone except for the traitor and Shirou. Before Shirou was executed, his only thoughts were that his actions led to the slaughter of his people. He knew he may as well have killed them with his own hands. He accepted the loss and took responsibility for the lives of his people, but he just couldn't accept that all the work they'd done would just be for nothing. So before he died, Shirou made one last prayer. He said, "So God, give me another chance. Next time, I won't lose sight of the bigger picture. I will eliminate all obstacles, enemies, and hardships in my way. Next time, I will obtain all the good in the world. A world where everyone is happy, everyone is good, and everyone is perfect. I will exterminate all evil and create a new, pure world." And that's Shirou's past. Although he never came back 100 years later to get his revenge, he is back in Fate Apocrypha to create that world where everyone is happy, good, and perfect, to bring salvation to mankind. Now, since Shirou also has a past in the Third Holy Grail War, I'm gonna have to talk about that too before I get to his abilities. But since he's also got a long list of abilities, and I want to give a pretty thorough explanation of what had happened in the Third Holy Grail War, I'm gonna end this video here and post a part 2 tomorrow. I know it's a bit of a cop-out, but it's a bit easier on me if I split it up into 2 videos. I hope you understand, but as always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of anime content, then you already know what to do. So until tomorrow, ciao.
Awesome. Yeah, so like this video was pretty interesting. Like I enjoyed Shirou's backstory. His backstory was pretty damn cool. Like he pretty much was freaking smart. Like I don't think it was like just a miracle that he won. Like sure, it was a miracle in itself because he was so outnumbered and so outclassed, but he's like that could be considered a miracle on his own. But I feel like the reason why he won is like this dude is smart. Like this dude is smart. Not to mention he's one hell of a fighter too. So, oh, and the fact that he was a mage. So he was a mage pretty much, and he used magic to perform so-called miracles, but he didn't know how he was doing it. So I guess like he turned to faith, and that kind of provided an answer for him in the form of miracles. But he was actually using magic. I guess like there was no one to teach him like the pure basics of it. So he was never really he was never really, from what I gather, he was never really able to master magic. Like he could perform it in some instances, but he was never able to master. Like he probably never had anyone to teach him, which begs the question, like, this guy could make miracles, right? This guy could make miracles, and he was able to unconsciously use magic. Can you imagine how powerful this dude was? Like, can you imagine how powerful this dude could have been if he had proper training? Like when you're born with a power and you are OP without even knowing what you're doing, imagine if this guy has some proper training, like some proper mage training. That would be insane. That would be insane. He was pretty OP though, like on his own. Like he was pretty damn good, and he's good with the sword too. Like this guy is epic. Which begs the question also. I'm assuming he can be summoned as a servant, as a saber. I'm assuming, just because he does use a sword. He has a background, a history of using a sword. So that would be pretty interesting to see, like what type of skills and ability would he have if he was actually summoned as a warrior, because like he didn't talk about his abilities in this video, but like I'm assuming he's gonna have like the same like skills as Jane of Arc, just because like the ruler skills are pretty pretty specific for being a ruler. Like I don't think they changed that much, but I'll be interesting to see if he has like some special skills of his own. What else? Oh, he also said that in the next video he's gonna talk about his involvement in the third Holy Grail War, and what I'm assuming, like he was probably summoned because this guy, I forgot, I never remember this old guy's name, but like the leader of the Mato family, the old man, he was probably cheating because he's that type, like he would cheat. Like, did you see like the events that took place in like Heaven's Field? Just because like it was all this guy's fault. So like he is the type to cheat. So yeah, it was probably because of him. For something that we saw in the back and in the little like, because I couldn't say it was like a backstory, but we did see a little bit of what happened in the third Holy Grail. And so apparently he had like some type of connection with Ilya or something, but I'm not sure. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm really interested to see the next video, because that's gonna be the most interesting one, because he's gonna talk about what I'm most curious about, which is the third Holy Grail War and what did he do there, and then he's gonna talk about his abilities. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna try to upload the second part as soon as possible. So thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day. Comment down below, and catch you guys in the next one.